part of the gaming industry. So the gaming industry is a huge sector of the market. It generated $138 billion as of 2018 and is projected to grow 9.6% to $152 billion for 2019. So a third of the population of the Earth's population are actually gamers. That's 2.2 billion people, to put it into perspective for you guys. And of those 2.2, 1.2 billion make up PC gaming, which is the industry that Blizzard is mainly focused on. So looking at Porter's Five Forces, the competition and rivalry is very high between all mediums of gaming. We have PC gaming, console gaming like Xbox and PlayStation, and we also have started to focus on mobile gaming. So threat of new entrants definitely very high because economic barriers of the market are very low and anyone can enter at any single time. And looking at the bargaining power of buyers and suppliers, buyers is very high because depending on the market, trends change very quickly, and game life turnover is very fast. Suppliers are very minimal because most of these companies keep their key talent and they only use a little bit of external developers for their software. And threats of substitutes is very high because many competitors are moving towards the mobile industry and there are a lot of indie gaming studios. When we did a SWOT analysis of the company, some key strengths is that Blizzard is actually focused on the three key industries of the gaming market. So Blizzard is more online PC gaming. They have a reportable segment of their company called King Entertainment. They make up Candy Crush, so most of you and your friends and family and nieces and nephews probably have Candy Crush. And Activision is part of console gaming, which is CDs. Weaknesses is they do depend on external developers. However, the main points of their weaknesses are quick turnover of trends in games. Therefore, they always have to be on the next hunt for the next game. And because they are in an international market, foreign exchange rates causes fluctuations in the prices of their games.
The companies, company is Blizzard and the benchmark company is EA. They are both American companies. EA is the creator of FIFA World Cup, Battlefield and NBA, while Blizzard is the creator of World of Warcraft, Diablo and StarCraft. Vertical analysis of Blizzard. Vertical analysis is the proportional analysis of the financial statement. Each line of item on the financial statement is listed as a percentage of another item. That is, each line of item on the income statement is listed as a percentage of gross sales. So that means total liability is listed as a percentage of gross sales. And you can see total liability went down from 50.60% in 2014 to 36.30 in 2018. On the income statement, each line of item is listed as a percentage of total sales, total assets. That means total equity is listed as a percentage of total assets, and it went up from 49.40 in 2014 to 63.70 in 2018. The most common use of vertical analysis in an income statement is to show the various line of expense items as a percentage of sales, even though it can also be used to show the different revenue line items that make up total sales. While it's used on the balance sheet for noting on the company's investment in a working capital and fixed asset over time. On the other hand, horizontal analysis compares compares companies' investment in working capital. Horizontal analysis compares companies' balances and also ratios over a period of time. Here we compare EA and Blizzard's balances and also ratios. The most notable figure is the net income, which we can see for both companies, the net income rose from 2014 to 2018.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a rough idea of the differences in incomes for both these companies. And since I'm going to talk more about Blizzard, I will go into the return on equity and the return on assets as well. So Larry, you must be wondering that if you're looking at these graphs, they are like, in 2014, Electronic Arts doesn't have revenue, it has $1 billion in 2018. And in 2017, Blizzard is 270 million in net income, and then suddenly spikes to 1.8 billion. Why is that? So I'm going to be addressing 4 constructives in the form of questions. The first is, why are income trends so inconsistent in the gaming technology, in the gaming sectors? So this happens because there are changes in the industry structure overall. So first we used to buy games that were like, so we used to buy packaged CDs first. Then from packaged CDs we went to digital games where you simply go onto your computer and you buy a game. From there, games have shifted to mobile phones. From mobile phones, we now have something called sports leagues. So these are all related to games, and as they change, we see that incomes either go up or go down as companies scramble to catch up with the latest trends. Second thing that I'd like to talk about is, why did Electronic Arts net income go down in 2017? As you can see, in 2016 they were doing fairly well. They made close to $1 billion in profit, but in 2017 they only made $250 million in profit. So that's a steep decline. Why did this happen? This happened because the main games of Electronic Arts, they were quite poor performers. One of the main games, Battlefield 5, they delayed it. So they delayed it, stocks were going up, investors don't want to buy stocks anymore. But I'm not going to talk about stocks, Sameer's going to talk about stocks. But the thing is that since Battlefield 5 got delayed, this part of the revenue got pushed into 2018, which is why you can see that Electronic Arts did better in 2018 as compared to 2017. FIFA did not generate revenues as much as Electronic Arts has anticipated. FIFA is a big game in Electronic Arts. A lot of people play FIFA, and Electronic Arts, it overpromised but under-delivered. So that is also why the income has gone down. And the third thing is they had troubles growing its mobile share, which is why again 2017 is lesser than income as compared to 2016. Next, I want to address why did Blizzard's income go down in 2017. As you can see, Blizzard's income has steeply dropped from over close to $1 billion. Again, it's like a quarter. That is because Blizzard's R&D expenses were more than $1 billion in 2017, and the taxes paid were close to 900 million. So what I found out was that in technology, what technology sectors do is the profits that they earn, they park their profits in tax havens like Malta and Barbados and Netherlands. Right? I don't know about Netherlands, but Malta and Barbados definitely they are tax havens where you don't have to pay a lot of tax. But in 2017, they came on the radar of the SEC. And since they sold a lot of intellectual property, they had to pay taxes close to $900 million. While gross profits remain same. Gross profits were close to $7 billion for 2016, 17, and 18. But since they spent close to $1 billion in R&D because they were expanding into sports leagues like I have this one sheet here. Yeah, it's called the Overwatch League, in which people go onto their computer just to watch a game. So they spent a lot of money for this, and since they paid close to $1 billion in taxes, they were $2 billion short in net income, which is why they had steep decline in profits. And the fourth thing that I want to say is, why did Blizzard's income go up in 2018? Blizzard's income went up in 2018 because they had already invested a lot in 2017. In 2018 was the year in which they just had to reap the profits. The pay-per-views went up by almost 30%, and Overwatch League. So the Overwatch League was hugely successful in 2018, and this year again they did not sell any intellectual property or any of the capital, and they did not pay a lot of tax, which is why incomes were stabilized and they had close to $2 billion in net incomes.
So I will be looking at the return on sales. As I just mentioned before, even though they had a rough year during 2017, the subscription-based model of Blizzard actually helped them pump back up in 2018. Another ratio which really stood out to us was the average days outstanding. Normally in this industry, the benchmark is 25 to 30 days, which is the credit card payment. But for Blizzard, it's actually 52 to 40. We actually dug deep into this and we realized they actually mark it as a street day. So all of those days are repeat purchases, which they cannot put as revenue until the game comes out. So we actually see this as Blizzard having a more loyal customer base than EA, because people are willing to pay a game 40 days before it actually comes out. As I just mentioned, the trends in the video game industry are always changing. This is why the research and development sales are always constant throughout the year. They don't change that very much. And finally, the current ratio for Blizzard that has actually gone up for 2018. We think this is part of the new trend or pivot they're planning with a risky move.
And now to quickly look into the stock price analysis for Blizzard and EA, we can see that the current stock price for Blizzard is at 55, whereas for EA it's almost at 100. Seeing that that's almost double, that's very much reflected in the earnings per share. As for Blizzard, that is at 2.5, and for EA that's at $5. So you might have to invest more to get an EA share, but will also get a higher return, and vice versa. For Blizzard, there's been an incredibly high volatility of the stock price over the last 52 weeks, almost 70%. So that is definitely an indicator that it's not a very safe, at least not a very safe short-term investment into those stocks. Whereas EA has had a lot smaller variety and a lot smaller volatility in the stock prices. The PE ratio, however, for Blizzard is way higher than it is for EA, indicating that the customers or the investors have a lot of trust into the company. Next, the recommendations that we saw and the trends that we saw were that both companies are rather well valued. None of them have a strong recommendation to either sell or that the stock is underperforming. So really it's just very minimal movements amongst hold, buy and strong buy. As soon as a hold will go down, a buy will go up, the strong hold will go up a little bit. So it's all leveling out quite well over the entire year. There is a broad consensus that Blizzard is a good stock to invest in. The question is just how good of a stock it is. So taking into account that both of those companies are also listed in the Standard & Poor's top 500 stock prices to invest into, and taking into conclusion that Blizzard appears to be preparing for a big comeback with this very large current ratio that they have, we would recommend to buy the stock if you do want a long-term investment. Seeing that the gaming industry is constantly growing, at the last World Championships for Fortnite, I believe it was, had more viewers than the actual Football World Cup. We can see that there's just a massive trend in the market towards online gaming, towards console gaming. So if you do want a long-term investment, Blizzard is a safe option to invest in. Thank you very much.
So my only question was on that dip in 2017. There was a slide that was presented earlier that showed the revenue. The revenue for Blizzard.
Yeah.
The actual revenue, not the ratio. Revenue. Yep. Next one. There's one with the revenue. Maybe not. Do you have any that show revenue?
I think one of the previous ones, right?
That's net income. No, you don't have, so maybe it was that gross margin, the one that gross margin. Yeah. So there we see the gross profit is pretty steady, and then you're saying in 2017 something big happened where there was a large hit. But if you see the gross profit is pretty steady, and then operating profit is where the hit happened, right? So that means operating expenses, SG&A, during that year was dramatically different because operating profit was 20, 20, 20, 20. For that 1 year, it dipped below, right? So what was the expense? So it wasn't sales.
2017 was the year in which they spent close to $1.2 billion more in just research and development.
Oh, so that was an R&D.
It was an R&D expense.
Okay.
Because they are not just making games to play, they are now developing something called esports.
Mhm.
Esports is when you log onto your computer to watch a game,
Yeah.
to watch a World Cup championship, as you pointed out. That is something they decided it. They spent close to $1.2 billion.
So their expenses were high in 2017 and 18.
And as you can see, the net income was also not very significant because there were two companies. There's this UK company that watches the markets. So Rockstar Games and Activision Blizzard. These guys were not paying their taxes, but they did sell their intellectual property. So the SEC decided to charge money on the capital gains they made, and they paid close to $900 million just in taxes, something they did not do in other years.
Sure.
So that includes not very nice.
Okay, great, thank you.